I watch film, but I'd be honest, I mean, when I first started watching film, I was just watching a game.
So yeah, look, all those horror stories aside, Rhino, you know what? Our Twitter account was a bit of a horror story during and after the game. People just want us to, they kind of want us to sack everybody. Everybody.
Yeah. It's been difficult, not just our Twitter account, but actually all across the internet. Any forum that you're a part of, a group you're part of, whatever. I mean, come on, guys. What did we want? I mean, okay, I'll start that again. What did we want? Obviously, we wanted a win. We get that. But what did we expect, really? I mean, look, our defense wasn't terrible, but everybody wants, the whole Capers thing sacked. Everybody on the defense terrible, replace everybody. People are pointing the finger at McCarthy. People are pointing the finger at Brett. So on, right? But Brett, after 1 week's training, managed to produce some really fine plays, I thought, at time, and look very good and be effective. Okay? His completions were down. Yes, he didn't complete many yards, and his passing yards were very poor. I get that. But did we really think after 1 week's practice, the guy that's been practicing mainly this season with the practice squad or the backup team, did we really think he was going to come in and have that kind of rapport with his receivers and running backs that Rodgers has with his? And then let's remember, Rodgers and Martellus Bennett haven't made haven't got that rapport going, haven't got that going after 6 weeks. And we want Hundley to come in and do everything after just one. Yeah. I think we kind of got to temper our expectation there. McCarthy, he gets blamed apparently now for not letting Hundley open up and not getting the play calling right. They had to come in with a game plan, develop a playbook, if you like, that suited Hundley and his skill set, which is different to Rodgers. Okay, they have a lot of similarities, but it is a different skill set.
Yeah.
And they had to do all that inside a week, and then because it didn't come together, let's sack McCarthy. Who do we want? Let's bring Jeff Fisher in. He's probably available out there. Let's bring that guy in. I mean, I don't think he's ever had a winning season, but let's just sack McCarthy. And then, of course, the sack Capers guys were out. I mean, we spoke about this before. He's not going to get sacked. It's not going to happen. So unless you just got upgraded on Twitter to 280 characters and have characters to waste, you might as well save them and come up with something else. Okay? So what did our defense do? They did create turnovers. We had 2 interceptions, and yes, the biggest one that I can probably agree with, we didn't get enough pressure on the quarterback. We had just 1 sack. I think it was Nick Perry.
Yep.
But the Saints O-line played it pretty well. Okay? They're not. When it comes to putting pressure on a quarterback, it's not simply a case of saying we're going to turn up today and pressure the quarterback. There's a huge bunch of guys standing in the way, and their job is to stop you doing that. And on that day, they just performed better than us. One thing we did do, and one thing that no one's really talking about because we're all too busy maybe being negative, we developed a sound running game and appear to have found a real diamond in the rough in Aaron Jones. I mean, number 33 managed to get himself 131 yards on the ground and a touchdown and looked good doing it. I mean, we haven't had it. I mean, we've joked, haven't we? We could have had Walter Payton back there, Walter Payton or Emmitt Smith or any of those sort of guys back there, or Adrian Peterson in his prime, and they wouldn't be able to run in our team. But then we found this guy called Aaron Jones, and he can do it. And he looked very good, and we should be positive about that. We found something that could really help us. If we're going to have problems in the passing game, we've found something that's really going to help us in the run game. So when you see people tweeting to sack McCarthy, Capers, Ted, and even Mark Murphy I saw today, sack them all because we lost 1 game to the Saints after losing the best player in football. We need to leave that out. Okay? Anybody listening to this now is going to think I'm being naive to the issues we're facing, but we're not. I just think the infighting between fans on social media and fans giving up on the season and fans calling to sack everybody, I just think it's madness. At the end of the day, the old saying goes that we're green and gold until we're dead and cold, and we're not dead and cold yet. It's easy to have faith in yourself and have discipline when you're a winner, when you are number 1. What you have got to have is faith and discipline when you are not a winner. And who said that? I'm sure you can answer that.
Big old Vince.
The great Vince Lombardi, and I'm sure everyone can answer that at home. But now, let's just have some faith in that man's words, okay? Because we all talk about Lombardi's great words, but right now we need to listen to them. The season continues, we have a bye week, the players will get work done, they'll rest, they'll get smarter, they'll get healthier, and we need to support them. We pride ourselves on being the greatest fans in the NFL, and now it's time to show it. We need to join together, get behind number 7, get behind Coach McCarthy, TT and Mark, because they've got our backs and it's our turn to have their backs. And that is where I'm at. So I'm sure that's going to open me up to plenty of negativity, but right now it's time to wear the green and gold and get behind the team.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Because again, looking at the game last night, we kind of got what we expected, right? I mean, Brett Hundley was never going to go out and throw for 500 yards and all the rest of it. If you want to break down the defense, because that seems to be what peeves people, and I can see why, because it seems that the Saints could convert 3rd and long all day. I think there was a 3rd and 17, and they converted that. But when you actually break down some of those plays right now, and I've looked at it, they come down to individual errors. So the person that kind of grinded my gears all night, and I said it to you sort of behind the scenes, and then I put it out on the group Twitter, not to be negative, was Kevin King. And you said, Jesus, he must have been doing something bad. Yeah, exactly. He's my guy, right? Now, not that I'm sort of naively and blindly going to follow whatever King does, but certainly he made some boo-boos on the night, particularly on that touchdown to Ginn. I think he made a balls of that, and then to that long 3rd and 17, it was King again who made that error on that. Then twice on the night, himself and Bryce did the first one, where the wide receiver went down untouched. Bryce actually vaulted him not to touch him, and then King just sauntered around, and it was only Devon House who ran over and tapped him down. So that's kind of a rookie mistake. That's not something that Dom Capers can be in on game time and say, lads, you need to do it. Obviously, he's telling them in the background, this guy is still playing college rules. And not only did he get shouted at then by Devon House at the time, the same happened with Clinton Dix. So he did the exact same. He made a massive reception. I think it was in the 3rd quarter, and he didn't tap the guy down. He got up and then made the first down, and you can see Clinton Dix again shout at Kevin King to say tap him down. That's what you have to do. So how you can attribute that to Dom Capers in game time is beyond me. So then if you want to talk about people saying, we had no pass rush, the defense sucks, that sack that Nick Perry got last night, again I think in the 3rd quarter, second, 3rd quarter, was only the 5th of the season for the Saints. So the Saints O-line is doing a stellar job, and this is what they're good at. Like if you look at the 2 dangers that they had, and what the most purchase that they had on us on the day was their 2 running backs, Ryan. And that's because their O-line is able to open running lanes, and they're also able to protect the quarterback. So, I mean, that's a dual threat. So you have someone running on you all day.
Let's face it. If they can afford to let Adrian Peterson go, then the 2 running backs they've got in Ingram and Kamara must be pretty good.
Yeah, they are. They're brilliant. They're a tandem. They call them thunder and lightning going into this. The last time I've heard that spoken about is about the Packers. So, from back in the day when they were winning championships. So, that's a lot to be said. So then you're dealing with a fantastic goal line. You're dealing with a defense trying to get after them. The 2 highest graded players on Pro Football Focus for the Packers were Mike Daniels and Kenny Clark. They were stout against the run all day, but we still got ran all over in important plays. That's a telltale sign there. And then when it comes down to the Saints offense, what were they, 7th best coming in? So they were a top 10 offense. And then we have a guy, Brett Hundley, who's trying to come in and compete with that. And people are saying it was an ultra conservative play call, but Brett Hundley, according to Rob Domofsky on ESPN, made 4 passes over 15 yards downfield, and none of them were completed. Now, you might put all of that on Hundley. It comes down to the playbook as well. But on top of all of this, we had tweets coming into us from journalists saying that, if anybody's wondering, the wide receivers aren't getting open. Now, I have a quote here from Randall Cobb that says different. He said, Jordy and Devontae got on top all day. There were a few inside as well with myself. We just have to continue to build that chemistry with Brett. Now, to these lads now, to Jordy and Devontae and Cobb, maybe them getting on top all day is getting that slight millisecond of separation where a back shoulder throw might work. And that's something that Aaron Rodgers can exploit. But you can't ask somebody who's, I know has been sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for a long time, but you can't ask a quarterback like Brett Hundley, to be able to make that. And I can guarantee you, and I believe this was said before the game, that the playbook was going to be simplified for Brett Hundley. He was going to be asked to make 2 reads, and after those 2 reads then just to see what else is open or make a play with his legs. So if you're asking a guy to make 2 short reads, which are going to be short in the slot or, you know, throwing in the flat or whatever, you know, passing off to the running back. I mean, if they're the plays that you're asking him to make first and then see what's open, you know, I mean, look, the fact to me, and I'll end my sort of rant onto your rant here, Ryan, is that they were going to stack the box because we're going to expect to run. Aaron Jones, made excellent purchase. He was 7.7 yards per carry attempt is what this guy was running, which is just ridiculous, right? We found a diamond in the rough here. Ty couldn't get out and going, so that shows that our O-line was able to break open lanes, which we said that maybe they weren't capable of doing because it didn't matter who we had back there. But now that we proved that,
I thought the O-line looked pretty good.
Really good, because they slowed some of the stuff down and showed, you know, somebody O-line making some fantastic blocks to make Aaron Jones do that run up the middle, which is where he got the first play off for like ridiculous yards and then scored that first touchdown. That was that play up the middle. So I don't think it was a bad game. I think people have to, you know, all things considered, not an Aaron Rodgers game. And
let's remember as well, until right towards the end, we were winning.
We were winning into the fourth quarter.
It's only late we got done, and we still had an opportunity to win as we went towards the end of the game. And yes, okay, their final drive sort of took a lot of the energy out of the game, but we were in that game for quite a long period.
Yeah.
And I think, to be fair, we always said, didn't we? We always said, didn't we, that we got the Saints game, and what happens, happens. Then we got the bye week, and then we'll be ready to play. So let's see what happens. And I think we just got to all stay positive and get behind the team.
Yeah. Everyone needs to relax. We're going into the bye week. We're going to get healthy. Going to get that chemistry. Go Pack Go.